Are you? There we go.
And boom, we are live on the good old Phoenix RIA for our Tuesday Red Room, also on Luke's Facebook page
Oh yeah.
and the good old YouTube channel, the Viking Boys YouTube channel, and the Just for Flips YouTube channel. Um, and if you go on there, there's probably 50 more episodes if you want to learn anything about real estate. Subscribe, send us some DMs, whatever.
Heck
But
yeah.
Today we are going to talk a little bit of a market update. Everything is cruising along as normal, but I do think, just going to say, inventory has kind of creeped up just a hair, not a lot, nothing crazy, but definitely something to watch, in my opinion, in the next, call it 30 to 60 days.
What did it get up to, Chris?
And nothing crazy. It just, it kind of jumped up to like 11,800. Actually, I just looked at it. Actually, it has dropped back down, so it jumped up, and so it's still just bouncing around. But I think, the 4th of July holiday obviously is built. It's like Christmas in July, and then you're gonna have. I think you're gonna have watch for that August slowdown that we usually have, because I think it's coming. But anyway,
Oh yeah. Gotta love the summertime, right?
yeah. And so today we're talking about agent outreach. We've been on here talking about different, sales strategies, whether, we heard about, we had the Novation call last week. We didn't actually get to play it, but you had two Novation. Let's get a shout out to Luke, because he went on two Novation appointments again this week. So the Novation route is definitely a strategy that you've implemented in last 60 to 90 days.
Yeah. Really not even. Really probably the last 6 weeks.
Okay, so in the
Um,
last 6 weeks, you've been able to
we got 3 novations in the last 3 weeks.
all right. So would you have been able to get those contracts across the finish line if you hadn't used their Novation strategy?
No chance.
Yeah. So
No, if we would have just tried going the cash route, no, because guess what? That's what I tried. I tried the cash route on all of them, and it wasn't happening. And so yeah, so we ended up going the Novation route.
that's
Um,
three convert. How many? You're doing. Let's just say what, about 15 deals a month. I don't actually.
we're down right now. We were up at that 10 to 15 a month for a while there, but we're probably closer to that like 8 to 10 now.
Okay, but so if you did three novations, you added three more contracts.
Yeah.
I'm just going to use 10. I'm going to use your big number. I'm going to use 10, and you added three. That's a 30% increase just with some quick math.
Oh yeah.
So just if
Absolutely,
you're
and one of them will probably one of the novations we just went under contract on. So we bought it 225, and then we just went under contract at 290.
yeah. See, so I mean, net is probably down to 40 to 50 grand,
Yep,
right?
exactly. Right in that ballpark, just depending on how much we're gonna have to put into it for the
Yeah.
Benzer.
Yeah. So here's a deal that wasn't going to happen. Now it's going to happen. It's going to be a $40,000 paycheck. He's done three Novation deals, because we're out there talking about being creative in your business strategy.
Yep.
And Luke, while we're out there preaching it, he's also implementing it. And just on the one deal, he's going to get another $40,000 paycheck. So if you're wondering what we're doing over here in Red Room, go over to YouTube, watch our channels, Viking Boys or
That's right.
Just for Flips. But today we're gonna talk about a marketing channel, and it's probably the cheapest marketing channel there is, right?
Yep.
So,
Absolutely.
so you can obviously do direct to seller, and some of those channels look like cold calling, texting. Luke's the master of the cold calling. You were obviously added some texting in your business at some point as well.
Oh yeah.
And then, but
PPC, Facebook leads, stuff like that.
Yeah, PPC, Facebook leads. There's lots of direct to center channels, but the agent outreach channel is probably the best way to leverage yourself. Talk to
Yeah.
people. talk to people that probably want to talk to you more,
Yep. Absolutely.
right? Because the direct to seller call is, hey, I want to buy your house. Click, right?
Yeah, I'm not interested. Stop calling me. Take me off your list.
Right. So, but when you're reaching out to the agents, you still get a little bit of that, but you get probably a little bit of, yeah, you know, they're in the business, and your conversation could be, what's your conversation on your direct to seller?
Yeah, I mean, so for ours, we let the seller, or I'm sorry, we let the agents know. We just let them know that we're interested in buying, properties that need a little bit of work, that maybe need a little bit of love. We let them know that we, and again, this is us personally. We let them know that we are flipping it. We don't tell them that we're like we say we will straight up say we are not wholesalers, because I know a lot of with how many deals are getting bought on the MLS right now that are getting bought from investors and getting put under contract by wholesalers, you're having a lot of cancellations. And so you have a lot of agents that are not happy with wholesalers either, because they understand that they're just trying to lock it up. They're putting a 10-day, 14-day inspection period on it. And if they can't move it in that 10 to 14 days, then they're canceling. So I think that with how much that's happened, with how it's been more difficult to find deals, you're starting to see it a lot more on the MLS. With that happening, that is one thing that we try to do, is we try to make a point that that is not what we do. We say, listen, we would, if you have any properties that are that could be interesting, we would love to be your buyer, and we will make this extremely easy for you. We also tell them, if you want to, if you have a client, we would love to have you double end it for us. So then they're getting 6% instead of 3% commissions, which that's obviously huge. I mean, for most agents that are out there, if your commissions, say it's going to be 12 grand on a property, and now it's going to be 24 grand, it's a big difference.
Exactly.
So we will tell them that they can double end it. We'll tell them that we'll make it extremely easy for them. We'll tell them that we'll close, we'll close in a timely manner. We'll close very quickly for them. So we kind of just give them, those options, and let them know that is what it would be like doing business with us. And then we were talking about this a little bit before that we hopped on the call, but you gotta be true to your word. Like, cause I mean, if you're going to be building these relationships with agents and you're going to start burning them, like I said, you're going to cancel last minute, or you're going to not perform, they're never going to do business with you again. They'll have no desire to do business with you. And so just make sure that you are doing what you're saying that you're going to do. Right. So again, if you say that you're going to be able to close in 2 weeks, make sure you're closing in 2 weeks. If you're saying that you're going to make it easy, don't be an asshole and say that you need a bunch of, other stuff after. So again, just do what you say. And again, I think that, what we've seen is that if you treat agents well, they will gladly start coming back to you every time, because they know how convenient it is. They know how easy it is. And what we've come to realize is that we've got multiple agents now in the different markets that we buy in that will strictly just look for us, because they know, okay, you know what, you got to keep in mind, when a market's tough like this and there's not a lot of inventory, guess what they're doing? Agents are having a hard time right now, because they're having a hard time because there's such a low amount of inventory. It's tough to get listings right now. You have a lot of people that, because of these higher interest rates, they don't want to sell. They're sitting on their 2, 3, 4% interest rates. So you don't have a lot of stuff coming on. So, when you can build these relationships with agents, they're going to see, okay, why am I wasting so much time on some of these other people? I have someone who wants to buy right now, and they will make it extremely easy, and they're going to pay me twice a commission. So it's going to be like doing 2 deals.
Right.
And so, if I can just get his buy box, then I'm going to start looking, directly for what they want. And so we've got a lot of agents that strictly just look for us in these different markets, and they'll say, hey, I've got this, and we just bought one in Prescott. And actually, Chris, you're funding it.
Perfect.
So we just bought one last week on the market in Prescott. You guys are funding it. We're doing the full rehab. And so yeah, I mean, it's just, there are deals to be had out there. A lot of it just comes down to making sure that you are not screwing over agents, and that you're just, you're making sure that you're making it easy on them.
Yeah. So here's a little thought to look at, kind of like agent outreach, right? Different different brokerages have lots and lots of different marketing tools, right?
Yep.
And I've never been an agent, but I just know there's agents that get leads all the time, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
instead of, they're out there fishing, and an agent might get, I don't know how many leads they get fed to them with their different marketing strategies that their brokers have. But if they get that hoarder house or that house that has 10 dogs or the cat piss house or any of that,
Yep.
generally that is more difficult to sell on the MLS because it's not FHA financeable. It's not, it's going to have a Binzer that's going to look terrible. So,
Yes. No.
Part of your agent outreach and what I would say is pick a number and stick to your number. Maybe it's 30. Maybe it's 30 agents I'm going to reach out a day. Or maybe it's 40 agents up. Whatever the number is, just pick a number and get the realtor list. I wouldn't, generally the realtor list is you can get it where you can get it ranked, like who's the top, say, 1,000 agents out of the 66,000 are, doing a lot of deals.
Most active. Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily text them. I would start at, number 2,000 or 3,000 below. And then I'd just start reaching out. Like I said, pick 30, pick 40, pick 50, pick 60. I don't know how much time you have on your hand, but consistently say, okay, I'm going to do this for whatever time slot that's going to take you, 30 minutes.
Yep.
45 minutes, and just set that time out. Reach out to your 40 agents a day. Maybe it's number 3,000 through 3,040 on Monday. Do it again on Tuesday. And it's just a numbers game, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then you do what Luke says. You're like, hey, you can totally double end it for me. And yes, 6% is awesome if they get it, but if they have the whole 6%, sometimes they'll use that as a little bit of wiggle room to get their deal across because they know it's a cash deal. It's easy. They're not going to have to list it.
And the other thing that's nice too is that when you're dealing with these, these agents that are double ending it, a lot of times you're going to see that they're going to go the extra mile for you in the sense of, anything that might come up with the property. So we've had that happen multiple times where, maybe something comes up during the transaction and it's nice to have the agent that's kind of taking your side because obviously they want the deal to go through. So, and of course, they're doing the best for both sides, of course, but still though, is that what we've seen a lot of times is that, to, like you just said, Chris, to get that deal across the line, they will make sure that they are going the extra mile in the sense of, okay, if something comes up and it's kind of going back and forth between the two, it's a lot more often that you're going to have an agent be like, you know what, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll take this out of my commission. So that happens more often when you're doing that. The other thing, I mean, you have things come up where, like we had something come up with a property a couple weeks ago where it ended up being that the septic tank was shot. And the septic tank was shot, and guess what? The agent that was doing it, that was double ending it, they ended up telling the seller, like, hey, just because this is an investor, that doesn't mean that they're not expecting a septic tank to be working. Like if you were working with any other buyer, guess what? They're going to be asking for you to fix that. So you can't really expect to be treating them super, different because they're an investor. And I mean, just him saying that one small thing, the seller was like, no, that makes sense. I understand that. Like I get why they do need a septic tank working. And so, and it was a very, very, very expensive septic tank. It was $31,000 septic tank.
Wow.
Because it's on the side of a hill. But again, like just because the agent is on our side, and because they want the deal just to go through, and then they want the, best for the deal to happen. A lot of times if it's agent against agent, it's going to be a battle. You know what I mean? You know how it works. It's going to be, no, you guys need to take half of this on. You guys said you're buying it as is, so it kind of goes back and forth. But that's what makes it really nice about having that relationship with these agents, a good, solid relationship with them.
Right. And so once you create that relationship, we talked about the numbers game, do your 30, 40, once you build your relationship with your 10, 15, 20 agents,
Yeah.
those 10, 15, 20 agents, once you close a couple deals with you, are going to be your go-to. They're going to bring you deals. And it may not be a lot. It may be one deal a month to at least look at. But if you build a relationship with 20 agents, and now all of a sudden you get 20 inbound leads to evaluate, underwrite, and take a look at, and your cost is just a little upfront work.
Gotta love that marketing cost.
Yeah.
A little work up front on a marketing cost is good, guys.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even something that you don't probably even use a text software for it, do you? Or you just have your agent outreach guy just use their cell phone, or use a text software?
Yeah, you can. Obviously, there's a bunch of things coming up now with like AI and everything as well, where you can put AI messages together. But no, I mean, the ones that we have that are solid relationships with agents that we've done a lot of deals with. No, it's a name to name basis. It's even a FaceTime basis where you can FaceTime them and just say, hey, what's going on? How you doing? And just how's the family? Because again, guys, like, once you can build these, exactly what Chris just said, you build these relationships, you can live off of that income doing those.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people in this industry that have done that, that have they have their people that bring them deals on a regular basis, and they don't even have to market. Literally do not have to market at all, because they just have really good relationships that bring them deals.
Yeah. I mean, I've done this. I've done this for years and years and years. And I hate to say it, but I mean, I didn't even have a cool CRM. I'm going to be embarrassed to say, I'm just going to pull up my phone for entertainment's sake.
I've showed you guys my CRM when I first got started. It was that big binder.
Oh, you can't see it, but where's my camera? But if you look, the last name is Bird Dog. Just name him Bird Dog.
Brian. Yeah, exactly.
And I got pages of them. Pages.
That's awesome. Just people looking for deals.
Yeah, but like I would just name my agents, Steve Bird Dog, Matt Bird Dog, and when I was reaching out to them, and now I don't even do a reach out anymore. I get I don't know, probably an inbound lead a day, just like, hey, you want to take a look at this, Chris? Hey, you want to take a look at this, Chris? As a matter of fact, it was a Prescott deal that I got today, and I actually forwarded it to you. I'm like, hey, do you like this?
I know. I gave you my buy price on it.
So, once again, this is we did get a question. What do you think how long will it take to get your first deal once you call consistently?
So Zay, for me personally, it took me 5 months. So that's not what you want to hear. That's not what most people want to hear. But it took me 5 months to get my first deal from cold calling consistently. But again, something that you got to keep in mind is that you have no pipeline built out. When you're getting started, you've got nowhere to reach to give these people a call, calls back to check in on them. You don't have leads built out. So when you're just getting started, yeah, it's more difficult. There's no doubt about it. But again, it's one of those things where, if you can push through the tough times of how it is when you first get started, most people aren't willing to do it. And that's why it's a very, very select few people that do well in cold calling and that make it through, is because it's extremely, extremely difficult, and it's time consuming, and you have a lot of time frames where you're not going to see results. And so it's not for the weak-hearted. It's just not. And so if you can't expect, if you can't be okay with maybe not getting a deal for your first 6 months or so, and I know that sounds awful, it is what it is though. I mean, and I hate to say it, but again, you just have to look at it as a pipeline, because again, if you don't have anything, you've got nothing coming in. It makes it very difficult, and you have to get skilled, and you're not going to, it takes a long time to learn exactly what to say at the right times and whatnot. That's not even going to come in the first 6 months. That's going to be years by the time you actually really truly know what to say at every moment that comes in. It's a lot of practice is what it is. But I mean, I know people that have started calling, and they got a deal in their first week or their first couple weeks. So, I mean, I'm not saying that that's 100% it. But again, for how it worked for me was after that first one came in 5 months in, then they started coming month after month after month after month after that, because that pipeline was built and because I was getting more skilled. So
And
that
that's
was,
Luke, you're talking about cold calling, right?
yeah. Yep.
So, and just if you are going to start out cold calling, that's why I like, me personally, that's why I like the agent outreach as an add on to it.
Absolutely.
You're going to do some cold calling. You're going to get some no's. You're going to get some hang ups. You're going to like, don't call me back. Don't on the do not disturb list, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
The agent outreach, you're at least talking to other real estate professionals.
Yep.
It'll be more engaging in the conversation to help you, because you're getting so much bad stuff over here.
Yes.
I think if you spend a consistent, I'd say 4 to 6 weeks on agent outreach, you're definitely going to get some deals to look at.
Yep.
And if you're doing, let's just say you can do 40 a day, times 20 business days, that means you reached out to 800. And let's just say you did it for 6 weeks. That means you touched 1,200 agents, right? And let's just say I'm just guessing the average agent's maybe talking to 5 sellers.
Right.
You just touched 6,000 people by spending probably 30 to 40 minutes a day texting, just not even using a text software, just the good old fashioned cell phone. Just like,
Yep.
I just got a question, Luke. Are you as fast as Jack on that cell phone? Like, have you
You're saying how fast he gets back to people?
No, have you seen him he could be driving and like, I'm a one thumber.
Oh, I know what you're saying. Yeah, he'll just go and set it down real quick. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, probably not. I'm probably not as fast as Jack. No, I do a lot of the talk to text, and the talk to text will get you in trouble though. You look down, and you're like, "What the hell? That's not what I said." So you get a lot of that, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, so I definitely think if you're looking to get a deal faster, the agent outreach, you're at least going to see deals and be able to practice your comping and other stuff like that. A little faster. I like the balance of direct to seller, because if you get some direct to seller, they're more going to be like Luke's home runs at 30 to 40 grand versus I feel like an agent outreach is less of a they're more base hits, if you
for sure. Yeah, no, I agree with that. 6 months cold calling without a deal doesn't scare me off. I feel like I have been in the analysis paralysis stage for a while, just educating myself. So Zay, that's I just want to warn you, that's a scary place to be. A lot of people will fall into that though. But I would try to get out of that stage as fast as you can, because the analysis paralysis stage, there is so much information out there. You could be educating yourself for years and years and years. And I think a lot of people do that is analysis paralysis is the perfect way to say this, because you think of all of these different routes that you want to go, and you start putting it down and writing it down of what you're going to be doing, how you're going to plan it all out. What you have to do is you just got to get in there and do it. Like, it sucks. I know you don't want to hear that, but again, it starts with exactly what Chris just said, making 10 calls a day, then get to 15, then to 20, then to 30, then to 40, whatever that number is, just start somewhere. So even if that's starting with calling 5 people a day, just start. Because again, you're never going to get any better just by information overload. Like it's not going to happen. Where when you're putting yourself in these positions of actually finding like, okay, wow, this is real life. This is what these people are saying back to me. This is what I need to say back. That's when you're going to get better. That's when you're going to understand what needs to be said on the phones. That's when you're going to understand, what's a deal, what's not a deal. Because you're going to have a lot of people, especially doing this agent outreach, you're going to have a lot of people send you deals that are not deals. And they're going to send you, addresses, and they'll say, yeah, I can take it at this. And you look at it and you're like, that is not a deal. Chris, I'm sure you guys still do that most of the day.
Yeah,
there's comp and deals that are, properties that are just not deals.
Yeah, I mean, you got to figure. I wouldn't even know how many properties we look at a day to get. I mean, we did 39 houses in May, so let's just call that. I mean, there's only 20 business days, so 2 a day.
Yeah.
I know that between mainly Jack, but throwing myself and Max, a couple other people on our team, I know we have to be looking at 40 houses a day
I'm sure you are.
to get to 2.
I feel like Jack and I together look at 5 houses a day.
Yeah. So, and I know, so I'm sure Jack's looking at 40 houses a day to get to his 2. So yeah, comping's a big thing, but I also feel like that, like, unless you're in the trenches, I think you can watch as many YouTube videos as you want, watch all ours. But I just feel like when you're actually in it,
Yeah.
it sinks in way more, right?
Way, 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 way more. Because it's that difference of real life repetition versus just reading something or watching something. Reading or watching something, don't get me wrong, it's good. You have to start somewhere. So like you have to start with reading or watching something. But when you're going to actually get good is by implementing.
Yeah. You're going to be like, I actually started a coaching program and I was actually taking the calls. I had a sales team, but I wanted to take the calls myself. And even, and most of the people were reaching out to me because I just said, hey, I'm starting a coaching program. DM me if you're interested. And my calendar filled up for 2 days. But just even those 2 days of coach, I've never had, and it's still a different sale than it is trying to buy a house.
Yeah.
Than talking to somebody about coaching. And just, those conversations were just different. And then I'm just like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have said that, or,
Yeah, because it's a learning process for that too, because it's something that you're not used to doing every day.
Yeah. So even like my 2 days, I probably was on 10 calls a day on a single post about coaching. And I probably talked to 20, 22 people. We ended up with like 4 people in our group, but still having those 20 conversations. I ended up at the end of my day just analyzing the conversations, just like, because it was a different conversation that I just had never had before.
Yeah. No, for sure.
So even 23 years into the business, I sat at the end of the day having a beer going, like just because I just done it kind of for the first time, like analyzing my conversations.
Right. No, absolutely.
Any questions, guys? Any thoughts? Well, if nobody has any questions, we are going to take off the 4th of July, surprisingly or not.
Oh man, trust me, if we did the live look in on the 4th of July, it would be interesting. It would be interesting to say the least. 4th of July is it's my favorite holiday. So
yeah. I call it Christmas in December. It's kind of like 6 months exactly from Christmas. I kind of feel like if you're in real estate, agree with me, give me a thumbs up, give us a like, whatever. Is it like everybody takes off the entire week? I mean, you can do whatever you want to, but I feel like everybody takes off the entire week.
Oh yeah, 4th of July. I mean, give me a break, because it's like, okay, well, when it falls on the weekend, it's always like, let's be honest, it always goes from Friday to like Monday or Tuesday. And so now this week, now that 4th of July is on a Tuesday, it's like, oh yeah, we're going up to Prescott Friday, Saturday, Sunday, coming back, and then we're having a big pool party on Tuesday.
Yeah, but how hard are you going to work on Monday?
Oh yeah, really, really, really hard.
I feel like Friday at about noon, people are going to cut off. The weekend's going to be the weekend. I don't think people are going to really work a whole lot on Monday. They're definitely not working on Tuesday, and they might be sluggish to get into Wednesday.
Right, absolutely. Well, I mean, our problem was when we go to Prescott, the whole city shuts down for the 4th of July.
There you go.
I mean, the whole down. Yeah, it's parades, it's rodeos, it's beer gardens. It's like the whole city just shuts down, and it's pretty awesome. It's a great time. Another one for you. Yeah. What do you feel about markets above 500 for average home price? Should I go virtual or try my backyard? I'm confused by the question, I guess. What do you feel about markets for average home price? You mean, is it like, would you say, do you recommend it?
I'm always a big fan of doing your backyard. Just, I'm going to put in my 2 cents.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. We always say start in your backyard as well, because obviously you can go on the appointments yourself. Again, it's just that same thing where it's going to get you more dialed in with everything. Anything that's going to potentially come up with the property, with a deal, it's nice to be able to just have it in your backyard so that you can try to figure it out. And because being in your backyard, if you want to try to scale, it's a lot easier to scale right in your backyard versus scaling in different cities. And again, not saying that you can't, but just saying it's easier.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for jumping on, Luke. Thanks for everybody for jumping on, and we will be back on, I think it's July 11th.
Sorry, let me rephrase that. My backyard market is Portland, and it is really expensive here. Should I do both or mainly market in cheaper markets? No, I mean, honestly, I don't think it makes much of a difference. If your backyard's Portland, I'd say go for it. Because you got to keep in mind one thing that's true with different market prices and everything is that it's all relative. So, I mean, if you're calling in California and you're doing stuff there, where the average, let's say, say a city like San Diego, where your average home price is say $1.2 million or something like that. On average, we've seen that just wholesales in general might be closer to 40, 50 regular, maybe even higher. Where again, when you're somewhere, say like, like Louisville, because we did stuff in Louisville where your average home price for a nice home is like 150 grand. What we were seeing that our average wholesales in Louisville were like 6 or 7 grand. So just keep in mind that's relative. If the average home price is around that in Portland, I mean, what is the average home price here right now, Chris? Like
475.
475. So yeah, so it's pretty similar.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're very similar to Phoenix, and so yeah, I'd say no, just stick with it and just get to work, and don't let the analysis paralysis keep hitting you.
Yeah,
start getting after it.
Go to justforflips.com, our YouTube channel, and watch the Michael Signs podcast. He's a Portland guy, and he is absolutely crushing it in Portland. He's going to do 7 figures in the next year. So,
heck yeah,
a little inspiration. Have fun with that one.
Love it. Well, sweet. Sounds good, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks for jumping on.
We'll see ya.
See ya.